Sarah the Time Traveler, and today I'm going to be talking about the third chapter of my book, which is about the pioneers in Poway during the early 1900s. Good morning. I wake up bright and early to start with the chores of my farm. My first chore is to milk the cows. Then after my chores, I come in and eat a large breakfast. Today my mother makes bacon, eggs, pancakes, biscuits, and fried potatoes. After breakfast, my father gets up and goes to work in the fields while I get ready for school. School is very far away, and I have to walk many miles to get there. I can walk to school, but children who live really far away get to use their family's horses or wagons. Hi, Samantha, my best friend Anna yells when I get to school. Then we hear our teacher ring the handbell to call us inside. Anna and I put our lunch pails and coats on a shelf before sitting down at our desks. Anna and I sit next to each other in the middle of our row. This is because our room is divided with boys on one side and girls on the other. Younger students also sit in the front, while older students sit in the back. Since I'm almost 8, I have a chair farther back in class with Anna and sitting next to me. In the front of the room, there are maps and a chalkboard. We also have a stove that is used to heat up the classroom in the winter. We always start class with a patriotic song. Today we sing America, but I really like to sing My Old Kentucky Home. Then we start our spelling and work our way to geography. Then comes my favorite part of the day, recess. Anna and I race outside to try my new jump rope. All of the other girls also join in, but the boys decide to play a game of Crack the Whip instead. Crack the Whip is a game that involves running in a huge line while holding hands and creating a curve. The boys run so fast that the last boy in line falls down and flies in the air. Whoever is last usually gets very dirty. Some older boys choose to play marbles instead of getting dirty. Soon the girls decide to play a game of statues, but our teacher rings the bell again and we have to return to math and history. Then we have lunch. We usually wash up in a water bucket outside. The older boys take turns bringing the water bucket. It is supposed to last the whole week. However, because the boys were so dirty from Crack the Whip game, they used a lot of water. One of the older boys will have to get more tomorrow. For lunch, girls and boys eat separately. We have an hour for lunch, so after we eat, the boys decide on a game of baseball. The girls, including myself, join in. Billy brought the ball and bat for today's game, but the boys take turns. There are no toys at school. We must bring them ourselves. The game of baseball ends in a tie. Then it is back to school again. School goes from 9 until 4, although younger children are let out at 2 o'clock. Then we go home, and I start on my chores. My chores are gardening, sweeping, and feeding the chickens. While I do my chores, I watch my father prepare for the harvest. The harvest will start soon, which means that my father has hired a man named Charlie to help. He is going to help harvest our peaches, but he will also help with our horses. Many other farms hire people to help too, and usually the boys are taken out of school to help with the harvest. I finish my chores and go inside to help my mother prepare for the basket social tomorrow. My mother fills a basket with delicious lunch and decorates it with ribbon and tissue paper. I am very lucky to help because she always wants to make it look perfect. This basket will be sold to raise money for our town. We have a lot of fun things to do in Poway, besides the basket social. We have picnics and dances. Although many children fall asleep in wagons at the dances, the adults dance until morning. We also go on vacations to the beach. During the summer, my family rents a cabin at Del Mar, and we stay there for a week. My favorite thing to do is the Christmas program at our school. We perform the Christmas program right before we go on Christmas vacation. After the performance, all children get a box of candy and nuts to take home. Now the basket is finished. Mother and I start to prepare the sour cream to be collected. We make sour cream and sell it twice a week to make money. We also have chickens for eggs and a garden. Many other farming families do too. Now my mother and I prepare for supper. We make potatoes, beans, vegetables, and a cake for dessert. Sometimes we have canned fruit instead. My mother and I can our own peaches and fruit from the garden. My father comes in very excited as we finish up the potatoes. "Guess what?" he says. we made a big deal today. I finally got Wilmer's horse. My father is talking about horse trading, which is very common in Poway. Farmers will stop in the street to talk. They will even sometimes swap horses and take the other farmer's horse home. My father has tried many times to trade horses with Wilmer, but Wilmer liked his horse and wouldn't trade. However, today Wilmer decided that they could trade horses. My father is very excited for the rest of the evening about his new horse. He even plays the fiddle before we go to bed. I fall asleep listening to the sound of coyotes howling outside my window, humming to a tune from my father's fiddle.